It was a night swallowed by darkness, with the icy wind biting at their faces and the crunch of snow underfoot the only sound piercing the silence. 6 elite commandos moved like shadows across the barren, frozen landscape of Norway. The air was thick with the scent of pine and the distant echo of rushing water. Each step forward was a battle against the biting cold, a test of their resolve. These were not ordinary soldiers. These were the chosen few, men of extraordinary courage and skill, handpicked for a mission that would alter the course of history. Their breaths were shallow and rapid, hearts pounding with the weight of what lay ahead. The memory of their training, the camaraderie, the silent promises made to each other, all culminated in this single, heart-stopping moment. Ahead loomed their target, the Vemork Hydroelectric Plant, nestled deep in the mountains, producing the precious heavy water vital to the Nazi atomic bomb project. The plant was a fortress, heavily guarded and surrounded by treacherous terrain. But these men, driven by a fierce sense of duty and the hope of thwarting a dire threat, were undeterred. As they gazed at the plant, a tangible sense of purpose surged through them. The scent of machinery and oil from the plant mingled with the crisp mountain air, a stark reminder of the industrial behemoth they were about to confront. Every sound, from the distant hum of generators to the whispers of the wind through the trees, heightened their senses, making the moment feel both incredibly real and surreal. This is the story of 6 men who stood on the precipice of history, ready to sacrifice everything to stop the Nazi war machine. It is a tale of unparalleled bravery, meticulous planning, and the unbreakable bond forged in the fires of war. This is the story of how 6 men blew up Germany's last chance to win World War II. By 1943, Nazi Germany had established its control over much of Europe. The war was at a critical juncture, with the Allies making significant strides against the Axis powers. However, a looming threat could have dramatically altered the balance of power: Germany's pursuit of an atomic bomb. The seeds of Germany's nuclear ambitions were sown long before the outbreak of World War II. In the late 1930s, Germany began its foray into nuclear research, a field burgeoning with potential and promise. This was a time when the world was still grasping the implications of nuclear physics, with pioneering discoveries being made across the globe. The discovery of nuclear fission in 1938 by German chemists Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann, along with the theoretical explanation by Lise Meitner and Otto Frisch, laid the foundation for the possibility of an atomic bomb. The international scientific community was well aware of the advancements in nuclear research. These discoveries were shared and discussed at various conferences, where scientists from different nations exchanged ideas and theories. However, as tensions in Europe began to rise, so did concerns about the potential military applications of these discoveries. The onset of war in 1939 heightened these fears, and many countries began to closely monitor each other's scientific progress. At the forefront of Germany's nuclear program were some of the most brilliant minds of the time. Werner Heisenberg, a Nobel laureate and one of the pioneers of quantum mechanics, was a central figure in the German nuclear effort. Alongside him was Carl Friedrich von Weizsäcker, another prominent physicist who played a significant role in exploring the theoretical aspects of nuclear reactions. Heisenberg and his colleagues were part of the Uranverein, or Uranium Club, a secret group of scientists tasked with exploring the possibility of developing nuclear weapons. They were at the cutting edge of atomic research, probing the mysteries of fission and the potential for a chain reaction, a key component in the development of an atomic bomb. The Allies, keenly aware of the importance of atomic research, were not oblivious to Germany's activities. However, concrete information about the extent of Germany's nuclear ambitions came through a mix of espionage, defectors, and the diligent work of intelligence officers. One of the pivotal moments came in 1942, when intelligence gathered from various sources indicated that Germany was heavily invested in producing heavy water, a critical component for moderating nuclear reactions. The focus of this production was the Vemork Hydroelectric Plant in Norway, a facility that had come under Nazi control following Germany's occupation of Norway in 1940. Heavy water was essential for the type of nuclear reactor Germany was attempting to build. The Vemork plant was the only facility in Europe capable of producing it in large quantities. The Allies realized that allowing this production to continue unchecked could have dire consequences. The responsibility of neutralizing this threat fell to the British Special Operations Executive, or SOE, a clandestine organization tasked with conducting espionage, sabotage, and reconnaissance in occupied Europe. The mastermind behind the operation was Colonel John Wilson, a senior SOE officer who understood the strategic importance of the mission. Wilson worked closely with Norwegian resistance leader Leif Tronstad, a scientist and former professor who had fled to Britain. Tronstad was instrumental in providing crucial intelligence about the Vemork plant and the feasibility of a sabotage mission. His expertise and insider knowledge of the facility were invaluable in planning the operation. The operation, codenamed Gunnerside, was meticulously planned and authorized at the highest levels of the British government. Joachim Runneberg, a young but capable Norwegian officer, was chosen to lead the team of operatives. His team consisted of 5 highly trained Norwegian operatives: Knut Haukelid, Fredrik Kaiser, Kasper Edlund, Hans Storhaug, and Birger Strömsheim. The selected operatives underwent rigorous training in sabotage techniques, survival, and guerrilla warfare, preparing them for the harsh Norwegian winter and the formidable defenses of the plant. They were equipped not only with the necessary skills, but also with the resolve and courage to carry out one of the most daring missions of the war. As the date of the mission approached, the tension mounted. The success of Operation Gunnerside was not just a tactical necessity, it was a moral imperative. The Allies knew that a successful sabotage could delay or derail Germany's nuclear ambitions, preventing a potential atomic catastrophe. With every detail meticulously planned, the team of 6 brave men prepared for their dangerous mission. The world was teetering on the brink of a new and terrifying age of warfare, and the outcome of their actions could shape the future of the entire conflict. Their mission: infiltrate the heavily guarded Vemork plant, sabotage its production capabilities, and escape undetected. The plan was ambitious. The team would be parachuted into Norway, rendezvous with the Norwegian resistance, and then infiltrate the heavily guarded Vemork plant. As the operatives took their final breaths before plunging into the frigid Norwegian night, they knew the weight of history rested on their shoulders. This was more than a mission. It was a battle for the future of humanity against a regime that sought to wield the ultimate weapon. The stage was set for Operation Gunnerside, a daring raid that would echo through history. On February 16, 1943, the 6 operatives parachuted into Norway. The freezing temperatures and rough terrain made the initial phase of the mission incredibly challenging. Despite these obstacles, they successfully made contact with the local resistance. Located in a remote and mountainous region, the Vemork plant was heavily guarded and difficult to access. The Allies understood the importance of local intelligence and that the success of the mission depended greatly on the support of the Norwegian resistance. On the night of February 27, 1943, the team embarked on the final leg of their mission. They skied across the mountainous terrain, and thanks to the valuable intelligence provided by the local resistance groups, they were able to avoid the many German patrols. Reaching the outskirts of the Vemork plant, the Vemork plant stood like an impenetrable fortress, its high walls and watchtowers bathed in the harsh light of floodlights that cut through the darkness. The men huddled together, their breaths fogging in the frigid air, every nerve on edge. The scent of oil and metal was strong here, mingling with the cold, clean air of the Norwegian mountains. With each step closer, the tension mounted. The team knew that one wrong move could spell disaster. They approached the plant's perimeter, hearts pounding, eyes scanning for any sign of movement. Suddenly, the beam of a searchlight swept over their position, and they froze, pressed against the cold, hard ground. The searchlight moved on, but the close call left their pulses racing. Ahead of them lay their first major obstacle, a narrow bridge guarded by vigilant German soldiers. Crossing it was not an option. Instead, they opted for a more perilous route. Descending into a deep, shadowy gorge, they navigated the icy rocks, the sound of their breathing and the rush of the river below, the only noises breaking the silence. With the sheer cliffs conquered, they found themselves at the plant's edge, the sound of machinery now a constant hum. Using wire cutters, they silently breached the outer fence, moving like phantoms through the shadows. Every creak of the wire, every crunch of snow underfoot was amplified in the stillness, setting their nerves on edge. Inside the plant, the air was warmer, filled with the acrid smell of machinery and the faint tang of chemicals. The commandos moved swiftly, their eyes adjusting to the dim light, scanning for the weak points in the heavy water production facility. The rhythmic thumping of the machines provided a cover for their movements, but also heightened the sense of urgency. They reached the heart of the facility, the heavy water production cells. The team worked quickly but meticulously, placing the explosives with the precision of skilled craftsmen. Each man was acutely aware of the stakes. This moment, this action, could alter the course of the war. The scent of explosives mingled with the metallic air, a stark contrast to the sterile environment of the plant. Timers were set, and with one last check, they prepared to make their escape. The plant was now a ticking time bomb, and the silence felt even more oppressive. The team retraced their steps, every second feeling like an eternity, every sound a potential threat. As they slipped out of the plant, the sense of relief was fleeting. German patrols were on high alert, the beam of searchlights sweeping the area with relentless precision. The commandos moved with calculated stealth, blending into the night, their breaths shallow, hearts pounding. The distant hum of the plant and the whisper of the wind were the only sounds accompanying their silent retreat. Finally, at a safe distance, they paused, the enormity of their actions sinking in. The cold air filled their lungs, the scent of pine and snow a sharp contrast to the industrial smell they had left behind. They waited, each second stretching into infinity. Then it happened. The ground beneath them trembled, and a distant thunderous boom shattered the silence. The explosion lit up the night sky, a brilliant flash followed by a billowing cloud of smoke. The plant, once a symbol of the Nazi war machine's strength, was now a smoldering ruin. For a moment, the 6 men stood in awe, the reality of their success washing over them. The roar of the explosion echoed through the mountains, a testament to their bravery and determination. They had done it. They had crippled Germany's last hope for an atomic bomb. The explosion was both a moment of triumph and a signal to flee. The team quickly retraced their steps, evading the alerted German guards. They split into smaller groups to increase their chances of survival. Despite the overwhelming odds, all 6 men managed to evade capture and eventually reunited with the resistance. The success of Operation Gunnercide significantly impeded Germany's progress in developing nuclear weapons during World War II. The mission targeted the Vemork Hydroelectric Plant in Norway, the primary source of heavy water in Europe. Heavy water, or deuterium oxide, was a crucial moderator in nuclear reactors that Germany required for sustained nuclear fission. The destruction of the heavy water production facility at Vemork dealt a substantial blow to Germany's atomic bomb project, known as the Uranverein, or Uranium Club. The immediate impact was the loss of approximately 500 kilograms of heavy water, which significantly delayed further research and experiments. Despite the Germans' efforts to restart production, and transport additional heavy water from Norway. The continuous Allied bombing campaigns and subsequent sabotage efforts, including the sinking of the ferry carrying heavy water in Lake Tinshu, further disrupted their supply chain. While the German nuclear program continued, it struggled with resource shortages, internal disagreements, and prioritization issues. The Vemork sabotage, coupled with these other factors, meant that Germany was never able to accumulate enough heavy water to sustain a large-scale nuclear reactor, let alone develop an atomic bomb. Hitler's decision not to pursue nuclear weapons more aggressively in Nazi Germany was influenced by several factors, not solely the sabotage at Vemork. However, the disruptions caused by Operation Gunnercide and the ongoing heavy water supply issues did play a role in highlighting the challenges and limitations of the program. As one of the most successful missions of World War II, Operation Gunnercide was arguably the single most important mission, as it prevented a nuclear-armed Nazi Germany from dominating the world. If you would like to see more videos like this one, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.